Hello and welcome to a brand new Football Manager 2021 beta video. This is FM21 predicts 100 years into the future. We are in the year 2121. I'm Joe. If you're new around here, make sure you click that subscribe button for daily FM21 content. We already had the 50 years in the future video, which was very interesting. Go and check that out if you haven't already. And of course, we predicted the 2020-21 season, all within this universe. You can find the links to the saves starting in these particular years down below in the description if you are interested in starting up a save. So make sure you leave a like down below if you haven't already, if you are enjoying. So let's have a little look. We always start with the Premier League. That's always where we see some of the biggest surprises, although we found last time, I think 16 of the 20 Premier League clubs that start the game were in there in 2071, which is crazy, really. So let's have a little look, and there we go, Liverpool. Surely Liverpool are still in the Premier League? They are indeed, and they finished 5th. They've still got a worldwide reputation. Of course, most of the sort of names of people we will not recognise. We might recognise some from the last episode. Maybe some of the players are now managers, but there you go. That is the Premier League, and it's looking slightly different this time. So Manchester City have won the league. Wolves finishing 2nd, with Arsenal 3rd and Man United 4th. Liverpool finishing 5th, of course, and West Ham, Stoke back in the Premier League. Tottenham 8th, Leeds United, Burnley, Swansea, Brighton, Watford. Chelsea down in 14th. That's an interesting one. Bournemouth 15th. Reading 17th. But, again, nothing drastically different to what we currently have today. So, a little bit disappointed, I guess, that once again that's not changed. But interestingly now, the Premier League is the 4th best league in the world. Remember, England were one of the dominant teams in the world in the last episode. So we'll keep an eye on that. So yeah, let's have a little look at the Championship then. If it'll let us. Oh, hang on. We want to look at past winners before we do that. So past winners. Oh wow, Wolves had a bit of a spell of dominance in the noughties of the early 2100s, and overall they're looking pretty good. West Ham have won a couple since 2071, so you can see Brighton had a couple as well. Chelsea had a decent period of dominance, and most recently 2100 season, but now they're down in 14th, so I wonder what has happened to them. And they've actually had a couple of seasons in the Championship. Chelsea were relegated in 2111. Yeah, they just had a steep decline. I wonder whether that was something to do with potentially financial things. I mean, they've had a tycoon take over them since then, but doesn't seem like anything crazy happened. They didn't go into administration or anything like that. So yeah, a bit of a surprise that Chelsea have become that sort of club. What about the likes of Arsenal? Presumably they're still in the Premier League for so many seasons. Let's have a little look at whether they have spent any time below. No, they haven't. So Arsenal still an amazing club, really, when you think about it. What about Burnley? Have they ever spent time out of the Premier League? It certainly doesn't look like... they did spend a couple of seasons, but not many. And Chelsea, of course, didn't until recently, and they actually spent a couple of seasons in the Championship. Derby County there. The main ones I want to look at are the likes of Liverpool. Yeah, of course, Liverpool, absolutely fine. Man United, absolutely fine. What about Man City? Yeah, and they look fine. Portsmouth have been in it quite a long time as well. Tottenham Hotspur, did they ever get relegated? Doesn't look like it. And yeah, that's it. I just thought that would be quite interesting to look at. So we do now want to look at the Championship. We can see Bradford Park Avenue. Should we work our way up or nah? So you can see Palace, they're back in the Premier League, Southampton back in, Norwich back in, Oldham are up there in the Championship now, Newcastle are down there. They had a decent spell of winning Premier League titles, so a bit of a surprise to see them down there. Sunderland in the Championship as well. Villa down there. What about League One? Anything massively surprising? You've got Plymouth, Port Vale, Colchester, Havant Waterlooville. Now that is a pretty surprising one. They've had a pretty neat surge. They actually spent a season in the Championship, which is insane, really. But Havant and Waterlooville, of course, very famously got the 5th round of the FA Cup, I want to say back in 2008, and led twice at Anfield. West Brom down in League One. Everton, wow, Everton 20th in League One. What has happened to them? I mean, they've been very much a Championship club over the last 20 years or so. They dipped down into League One, and this season, or last season, finished 6th. This season, finishing 20th. They'll be very disappointed about that. What about League Two then? Any big surprises in there? Bolton still down there, I suppose. Can't really see any other surprises, but you guys please let me know if you do see anything. Somebody spotted Palace in League One last time. Anyone in National League? Brentford down there, that's a pretty surprising one, but nothing else particularly. In fact, a lot of them I imagine are in the National League now. And then you've got the National League North. Okay. Bury, I don't think that's... Is that the same Bury? I can't quite remember now. Maybe it is. Maybe it is. Oh, you can... Is that 2003-4? No, it's not. Yeah, they obviously just spent time down in the lower reaches of the footballing pyramid. Yeah, nothing else particularly surprising there. And then National League South, of course. Any crazy clubs down there? Wickham, in the Championship currently. But no, there you go. That's the English football pyramid, if you like. Now then, what about the FA Cup? How's that been won? So it's most recently won by Tottenham. Obviously Sunderland, I think, won it back in 2071, which is where we last were. And you can see it's been a tournament won by a number of different clubs. Birmingham winning it, Sheffield United winning it. They're actually a Championship club now. Don't know if they were at the time. But yeah, nothing too surprising there. And then the Carabao Cup, Norwich winning that. That's an interesting one. Anyone else? I mean, Chelsea had a pretty strong hold on the competition after we last checked in with this save. But yeah, interesting. Very, very interesting. Let's have a little look at the World Cup. We like to have a look at the World Cup. So Holland or the Netherlands have been the most recent winners. You can see England won the last 3 up until when we visited them in 2071. France, Portugal, France, and then England won it again. In fact, it was 2066. It was hosted in England. Look at that. 100 years after the previous England World Cup. In fact, it was also in 2042. I swear when I looked last time, there wasn't any posted by England. Anyway, Russia won it twice. That's an interesting one. Scotland finishing runners-up. England won it again. England are now something like 7-time world champions. 9-time world champions. Surely that's actually the record, is it? Let's have a look at France. I guess maybe it's on this. Is it records? Yeah, most time... So, only another 100 years to wait, guys. And England are going to be the most, decorated club in the World Cup. That's quite funny. Highest attendance, 199,000. That's still in 1950. Most team goals, England in the 2106 World Cup. Let's have a little look at their records. Who's top goal scorer now? Henry Kelly is the all-time top goal scorer, and he's only just retired, actually. It looks like he was an excellent player in his heyday. Most cap player is Quay Wayne Cousins. Don't know, I guess, yeah, he was a goalkeeper, so he played for a long, long time. Wayne Rooney's still the youngest ever goal scorer. That's crazy, really. Most expensive English player, Quinton Charles from Leeds United to Wolves. And that was in, when was that? 2076, 200 million, 300,000. Highest transfer received, so Ryan Gravenberch was still the most sought after player, 300 million from Liverpool to Paris Saint-Germain. That's a ludicrous amount of money. But let's have a look at La Liga then. Let's see if anything has happened since we were last with them. Hang on. There we go. La Liga Santander. So Sociedad won it. Barcelona out of the top 7. Oh my word, look at that. Athletic Bilbao and Sociedad have won every single one. So they're the new Real Madrid and Barcelona, basically. Real Madrid got in on the act in 2090, but other than that, and Real Betis winning it 1 year, it's been a whole host of Athletic Bilbao winners, and I wonder if they're now the record holders. Yes, they are, most times won. That's insane. That is insane. And they've all won pretty much all of them. In fact, they won some in the 20th century, but yeah, they only won 8 before this series begun. They've won 59 of, in theory, 101 seasons that have been in this game. That's crazy. I've won the Champions League a fair few times as well. Speaking of Champions League, shall we have a little look at the past winners of that? The French clubs seem to do pretty well in this. I'm assuming Rodez are French, yeah, or Rodez, no idea. Le Havre, Juventus have won a few. In fact, the most recent one as well. But this Rodez team seem to be very, very good. Very, very good. Whoops. Wolves won it a couple of years. West Ham won it twice on the bounce. Wolves again. Chelsea, this QRM popping up again. Very, very interesting. Very, very interesting stuff there. What about the Europa League? Real Betis, Ajax, Cittadella. Who are they? They're an Italian club, apparently. Rosenborg. Wow. A Norwegian club winning the Europa League. That is an interesting one. That really, really is. Galatasaray winning it. Rosenborg have won a few, actually. Nice, Liverpool, Ascoli. Wow. Some really interesting results in there. Almeria as well. Spanish club. Copenhagen. So a Danish club. Wow. I'm baffled. Swiss club. Young Boys won it. It's crazy. How many different countries are winning these tournaments? Swansea Stadium, how big's that? 43,000. Aviva Stadium is still there. I'm trying to see if there's any stadiums I recognise. Ibrox is still there. 1899 and it's still standing. St Mary's Stadium, 2001 that was built. Mercedes-Benz Arena. Just insane seeing some of these names. Right, let's have a little look at the European Championship. So that's Holland that won that most recently. England have just been dominating it. Other than that, though, and again, it wouldn't surprise me if they've won the most amount of European Championships. Let's have a little look. Well, Portugal apparently have won the most. I don't believe that looking at this. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. But they never won it previously. Well, there you go. There you go. Very interesting. Wales won it again. Russia, they seem to have had a pretty good time of it recently. And you can see the Russian Premier League is actually one of the most famous in the world now. If you look at the league rankings, I don't know exactly how we do that. But if we have a look at Serie A, let's have a little look at that. Yeah, you can see it's the 5th biggest league in Europe now, the Russian league. So past winners Juventus are back on top. Milan up there as well. Ascoli as well. Okay, nothing too much interesting about that. What about the Bundesliga? Now, I can't remember who it was last time that was dominating. RB Leipzig, of course. Dynamo Dresden won some. Bayer Leverkusen finally won one. Eintracht Braunschweig, Union Berlin, Freiburg. So much more varied now of who's winning the Bundesliga. And actually, Bayern Munich have only won a couple over the last sort of 50 years, which is insane to think about, really. And what about the League, which was the most reputable league in the world when we last looked, and it still is, actually. So you can see Lorient winning it. Most recently, Le Havre, this Rodez team. No idea where they've come from in all of this. You know, they're a team that haven't won a great deal. They won the Championnat National in 2019, but other than that, I can't see any big performances from them. I'm guessing they got a takeover. QRM won a few as well. Yeah, Grenoble, which is very, very interesting that so many French clubs are doing so well. Let's have a little look at transfers. I still can't remember how I did this. Or was it on major transfers, view all transfers? But then you can't seem to filter it. But anyway, so you can see 104 million there. So if we just work our way back, 125, so 300 is still the target of Gravenberch back in the 2020s, 225 million there. But yeah, it doesn't seem to be going over the 300 mark. There's another 200 million, and yeah, back to 2071, and yeah, we didn't see any. But Quinton Charles, he was a good player. I think we looked at him before. Went from Leeds to Wolves, scored a lot of goals in his career. Let's have a little look at the Ballon d'Or before we finish this off. So you can see Henry Kelly had a pretty big impact on it. Eddie Vertot, Andre Ferreira. But, you know, you can see the type of clubs these are coming from. Mostly the Premier League, which is very interesting. If this guy, Bouzabar, seemed to get it for Almeria for quite a while. I mean, this is the Ballon d'Or, do you know what I mean? The Peter Scharbin, Tamba Camara. I mean, we can have a look at this guy, and, you know, he's 37 now, and look at some of those attributes. Can you believe he's that good at 37? What a career this guy's had. So he was at Man City for a long, long time, and this season joined Tottenham halfway through. He started his career at West Ham, went on loan to Blackpool, where I guess he made his name, and he's came back into the Premier League and bossed it, really. 362 goals in 700 appearances. What about John Hippolyte? 36-year-old midfielder at Liverpool. Has been around the block a little bit. Particularly good in these years, you know, scoring a lot of goals for Real Sociedad. What about Hassan Terzi? He looks alright. 32 years old. Plays for Real Sociedad. Played for Wolves. Wolves signed him for 2.4 million. Turned him into a decent player, and he sold for 110 million to Real Sociedad, and he's absolutely bossed the La Liga. And then we've got Peter Shaban. Very nice attributes there. He's actually pretty good, isn't he? He's, looking at his average rating, and wow, look at that for goals scored in a season. He's just on it every single year. That year didn't seem to go as well for him. Maybe he was playing out on the right hand side a little bit more. Assists for him that year. And then we've got George Giadias again for Manchester City. Whoa, these are disgusting attributes. I mean, look at that. 18 dribbling, 17 first touch. What a player this guy looks. Oh, how are Man City not absolutely dominating? 49 million he went from Brighton to China, to Gansu. And then after half a season for 49 million, he came back to the Premier League. And for some reason, the last 4 years, he has just went from strength to strength. I don't know what was happening in the previous seasons, but he is now a force to be reckoned with. 26 years old, and then you've got Lenildo Barros, who is a 32-year-old striker for Arsenal. Again, scoring a lot of goals throughout his career. 26.5 million. That seems like a bargain for this guy, who would have been 26 at the time, and he's scored a lot of good goals for Arsenal. Did play for Rodez in France for a bit when they were still in National 2. So, yeah, they must have... hang on. That was for the second team. And then he went to Benfica. Did all right there. Then went to Lorient. Was playing for their second team. It's just insane. And then he's come and scored 10 goals a season in the Premier League. Like, it's not amazing, but he's won the Ballon d'Or at the end of the day. He's won the Ballon d'Or. David Berry, he's finished second. Let's have a look at him. 24 years old now. He's just joined from Liverpool, £100 million. Didn't actually have a good season at Liverpool up to that point. Only started 5 games and Liverpool got 100 million for him. That is insane, absolutely insane. But that is where we're going to leave it for today. I don't think I've missed anything, but please let me know down below in the comments if you spotted anything that was untoward, and hopefully you've enjoyed it. If you have, make sure you leave a big like down below. Subscribe to the channel for more FM predictions, experiments. Want to get into doing some guides as well as just daily gaming content, all things gaming. PS5 is coming out this week, so there's going to be plenty of content on the PlayStation 5 on the channel. I'm really looking forward to it. Hopefully you guys are too, and hopefully you're having a wonderful day. Thank you very much for watching, and goodbye.